let me get straight to the point and say Seven is without a doubt in my mind my worst project I've ever created. Now let me explain. The concept of making a a project called Seven and having it be about me committing each of the seven deadly sins, right? Um, that was great. I loved the idea. I loved the concept. It was the execution that I feel like I fumbled with. Um, it was another instance of me trying to get into learning how to produce for myself because beats were expensive. And I think I maybe did one or two. I'm not 100% sure. But again, I keep getting back to this point of I did not understand how to properly pitch correct and tune my vocals. So there's a lot of singing. Like I mentioned before, I loved pop and R&B and gospel growing up. And I feel like a lot of that influence always tries to shine through in my songs because I don't like hip hop and rap was the genre I learned about much later in life, right? So my default is always wanting to try to sing something, not try to rap something. Rapping is a skill I had to learn to do well and educate myself on. Singing was something I always had did, but and I'm not saying I sing well, but it's always something I did. So my brain is always like, when in doubt, sing it out, right? So I'll have beats and I won't know how to approach them. Especially back then, I'd have a beat and not know how to approach it with rapping at first, and I would sing first, and maybe that was how I came up with the hook or whatever. But then I would be able to go, okay, I sung this part. I think I can catch how I can rap to it now. And all in all, I just don't feel like I executed that properly. Now, again, like I said, there's always a soft spot I have in my heart for all of my songs. I love all of my songs just from the fact that there's something that I was able to create and bring into the world. But I I can be objective about the quality of my work. So on the flip side of that, in the more positive aspects, this is also when I met Jessica Farmer. And I'm not too sure how I met her. I think it was just like I saw her on Instagram. I don't know if we went to school. I know we didn't go to school together. I don't know if she went to school with someone I went to school with and it just, kind of popped up in suggestions or whatever. But she works in the film industry. And at the time, I think I saw her post some art maybe. And I asked her about doing the cover art. And she was able to do the cover art for me. And, I paid her, blah, blah, blah. Rest is history, right? So I'm thinking, okay, I got everything set for this project. It's going to be a good project. Only problem was it wasn't a good project. Um, and Pop, he tells me now, he even told me then, but he would say how all that experimenting that I did for songs would eventually pay off because I was going through so many instances of like just, trial and error, like I said. And by the time I really understood it and I was able to do it, it would be on a different level because I had done so much learning that once I actually understood how to do everything else, it would just be a level up of sorts. So, yeah, I still look back on it with not so fond memories, and I'm not sure, and I'm not sure if that's just purely off of the music itself, or if there was a situation going on in my life around that time that this project is connected to that maybe I don't remember. So that's why I have such an aversion to it. either way, I respect the project as a creation, but it's still not one I hold in high regards. But I will play a song from it nonetheless.
I seen things that I wanted right now when I work. Way harder than I felt that I should. I thought that God would give it to me cause I came out the hood. Was living it good, the message that I misunderstood. I'm still broke, could never fake it till I make it. It's no mistaking, I'm owed everything that was taken from me. Mark up the list and let's see what should be given to me. I'm jealous, I can admit that now. I'm jealous, I see and I want that crown. I'm jealous, it looks like you're happy now. I'm jealous, I'm jealous, I'm jealous. I can admit that now. I'm jealous, I see and I want that crown. I'm jealous, it looks like you're happy now. I'm jealous, I'm jealous. People get signed off of one song. Don't get me wrong, they deserve it, but I do too. Been dedicated to the grind like I've been in the ground. 10 years took it all just to work on my sound. What I found was so profound, it all goes down in the DM, telling me that can't nobody see him. He trash, but I wouldn't go and tattle to his BM. She hyping him up, she thinks somebody wanna be him. Calling him out, I'll probably punk him like CM. London, that's the next place I'ma run with. North Carolina wouldn't put me at the summit, but keep supporting rappers that I'm constantly sunning. I'm lost, could buy it, I won't pay the cost. Keeping my soul, that line never crossed. For temporary things that I think that I need, I'm greener than the Hulk with this envy in me. I'm jealous, I can admit that now. I'm jealous, I see and I want that crown. I'm jealous, it looks like you're happy now. I'm jealous, I'm jealous, I'm jealous. I can admit that now. I'm jealous, I see and I want that crown. I'm jealous, it looks like you're happy now. I'm jealous, I'm jealous. I'm jealous, I can admit that now. I'm jealous, I see and I want that crown. I'm jealous, it looks like you're happy now. I'm jealous, I'm jealous. I need some time, I need some time for this. Get it together, what could you really miss? I need some time, I need some time for this. Get it together, what could you really miss? I need some time, I need some time. I need some time, I need some time. I need some time, I need some time. I need some time, I need some time for this.
This next album, unfortunately, was when I originally planned to quit music as a whole. I had begun to feel like everything was kind of, I'm not even gonna say a plateau. Life has peaks, life has valleys, it has plateaus. I'm not even sure how I would describe the way I was feeling at that time. Um, I was just kind of done. Um, I was feeling very unmotivated. I was feeling defeated. Um, you know, I hadn't been making any money off of music. Um, I had been doing it since I was 13. By this point, I think I'm 23 ish. So it had been quite some time that I had been putting into music. No, I couldn't be. Could I? How old was I? I don't even remember at this point. 20. This had to be going into 2019. 2019, 5 years ago. So I was 24. I was 24. Um, I was just I was just defeated. Um, I wanted success so bad for so long, and I felt like I had given my everything to music around this time. Thankfully, I didn't quit at that point because I feel like I've evolved and grown not just as a musician but as a person so much since then. But during that moment, it definitely felt like, yeah, no, this is it. I gotta pack it up. You know, I'll just be an engineer or whatever. It was definitely a place where if I had not had um, a good support system, I would have definitely walked away. Um, and I don't mean walk away completely. I still would have been involved with music. I just was gonna hang up um, me being the artist. I was gonna try to just focus on being an engineer or whatever. But I was talking to my mom around that time. I was talking to Pop around that time, and ultimately through conversations with them, I have a it's not a bad habit. I was gonna say I have a bad habit, but it's not a bad habit. I just tend to I solve my issues through talking them out. Sometimes I don't even need um, another person to give me a different viewpoint. Sometimes just having someone else to bounce the ideas off of as I'm saying them helps me realize, oh, that's something I can do. So ultimately, I decided I was going to quit. I was just going to quit the pursuit of fame. I was going to quit trying to adhere to the vision that I had set at 13, 14, 15 years old. And I was going to have to find a different vision to stay motivated and to define my success. So this was the album where I really said goodbye to that whole past sector, like where Restart was like, oh, I want to, put my best foot forward again and, start it all up and this is it type thing. Thanks for the Memories was the antithesis to that, where I was like, man, no, all of that was fun trying to chase it and, feeling like I had gotten so close so many times as a kid. The different opportunities that I had, the good, the bad, all of it. I was just, thanks for the memories of the career that I attempted to have. So all of that stuff, I kind of left that stuff behind after after the release of Thanks for the Memories. So Thanks for the Memories was the final project where it was kind of like, all right, if you're gonna do it, this is when you do it. And afterwards, it's time for a change. You're getting older. You got to switch up how you're doing this. So I'm not gonna say I put my best foot forward with Thanks for the Memories. It was very much like I don't know. When it came to the album itself, there were a few songs on there where, like, yeah, there's some good songs here, some good songs there, but it's a lot of fluff. And I felt like more importantly than the music at that time, it was just a way for me to say goodbye to that phase of my life and that dream that I had. Um, in order for me to continue to create music in a passionate and honest place, I had to. I had to let it go because it was starting to weigh me down in a way that was entirely negative because I wasn't seeing any sort of success in my original goals. Some of that came from, having to reframe my mindset, but a lot of it was just the reality of the situation. Um, I just wasn't I just wasn't succeeding. And making peace with it and letting it go and sending it off. And I had to do it in a way that, at least still felt authentic. And I I thought about, because, like I said, I love to tell stories. So I thought out this idea of Thanks for the Memories is going to be a museum, and it would be a Cameron London art museum, and show all of my music and everything, that I held dear up until that point. And my friend Emmy, she voiced the museum curator or announcer or, whatever it was called. Um, and, she helped me out. And my cousin Ajay, he voiced a character on there for me. And it was just like people in the museum walking around looking at all this Cameron London stuff, because it was, in my mind, it was really that. Like, I was letting go of an entire phase of my life. Like, I don't regularly visit anything between anything before Thanks for the Memories, including Thanks for the Memories. I don't look at that part of my life's work too often. Not because I dislike it or because, it's bad or I have negative memories. It's just, I left it where it was, and it always will symbolize, my initial childhood dream and how I was never able to achieve it the way I thought that I would achieve it. So leaving it where it was, I felt like that was the best thing. I even sent off all of my old aliases. So back before I was Cameron London, the people that know me from really early on, like mixtape days, my name used to be Kamel. And it was a mixture of my first name and my middle name that my uncle had come up with. And it was because my first name is Cameron, my middle name is Melvin, and he came up with the pronunciation Cam L, like similar to J. Cole, but the opposite, because, my uncle's DJ. So they were always like new music and party scenes and stuff. So that's where that idea came from. But I tweaked it and did Camel, and it was CA''MEL. And another name I had was Young Justice. If I recall correctly, my friend Sam, rest her soul, she gave me that name when I was doing mixtapes early on, because her last name was Justice. And it was just a fun little thing back in the day in high school when I was first starting, but I never used it like commercially. By the time I started releasing commercially, it was Cameron London. And, putting Cameron London featuring Kamel and Young Justice on a song, knowing that I'm all three, it was nice to look back on it and go, yeah, these are moments, that I probably won't get to look back on too much and discuss too much, because I'm trying to move beyond this and I'm trying to set a new goal in my life. And yeah, it's why I look back on that album so fondly. And again, not because of the songs, just because of the message. And it's not even a message to everyone else. It was just a message to me. Yeah, and I don't think I've ever since it's released, I don't think I've slowed down enough to stop and really look back on what that entire album meant to me. I even broke my rule on that album because I don't like remixing my songs. Like I don't like people to remix my songs. Um, and I had a song up there. I can't remember the name of it. No Talking. No Talking. I made a solo version of No Talking. I think it was a solo version of No Talking. And then I did a remix because I wrote like 3 or 4 verses, I think. And then I had D. Smitty and Jessica Farmer, the one that did the cover for Seven. I had her get on the remix, and she did like a little bridge line. I had the idea of having it sound like a line from a film, and she was actually sick when she did that because she was like, "Oh no, I don't think I could do it. You know, my voice is messed up right now. I've been a little sick," and I was like, "Actually, that works perfect for the sound that I'm going for." So yeah, man, just looking back and thinking about that project and everything that I let go of that was so attached to mainstream success and being a household name and, you know, being on massive stages and winning so many awards and all this stuff that I thought I would do as a little kid. I left it all with thanks for the memories.